Fargo, North Dakota. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jed Thomas, alongside of my partner, Adam Seiler, as we get set for North Dakota high school softball action as the Shanley Deacons get ready to take on the West Fargo Packers. Well, Adam, I'd love to be able to say it's a beautiful day for softball, but that is just not the case. We got some high winds, some rain coming down, some cold temperatures, but hey, those girls are still ready to play some ball, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah, it's looking like they've been warming up for a while. They're getting ready for a good game. We got a couple teams that are looking to make a difference here. Shanley, 1-6 on the season so far, definitely looking to improve that record today against a team that is doing very well. West Fargo, 11-3.
Yeah, absolutely, Adam. 1-6 Deacons taking on the absolute powerhouse West Fargo Packers. That's a tall order. I mean, we're talking about a team that has been not only the top of the East region, but the top of the state for a very long time. An unbelievable amount of state titles over the years. Just really the dominant team in North Dakota fast pitch softball. That said, since they're split up with Cheyenne, they've still been very dominant, very good, but they've had a little more trouble. You're pretty much losing half your potential players, and that's going to hurt any program, even a team like West Fargo. And since that happened, we've certainly seen, they've had some troubles with some teams. They lost to Valley City this year. They also lost to West Fargo Cheyenne. So they're still one of the best teams, but they're not invincible is what we're seeing.
No, you're definitely right. They're definitely a solid squad, but like you said, they split up. Cheyenne took a lot of their good players, and now you have two of the top three teams in the region are from West Fargo. So there's definitely a lot of stuff still there. But Shanley's got a real shot today to maybe overthrow them a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And the Deacons on the other side of things, historically a good softball team. They've been good the last few years. This year, though, a bit of a rebuilding year for them. Extremely young, not many seniors at all. I think just 2 on this team. And this is definitely a rebuilding year for them at just 1-6. We've seen a lot of firepower from them offensively, but when it comes to the defensive side of things, that's where they've really struggled this season. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, the couple games that I've seen from the Shanley squad, it's just been the biggest thing are errors that really define their team at the moment. I mean, everything seems solid until one little thing slips up, and all of a sudden you've let in a run or two, and that's just gonna keep costing them games until they can work that out.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, you look at this schedule and you see they've got 2 games where they gave up 20 or more runs. They've got a game where they gave up 17, a game where they gave up 18. So that's something that they really do have to work on. And right now, you see down on the field, it's a special game here today. It is a memorial game for Randy Nelson, the former athletic director of Shanley High School, and you see his son throwing that opening pitch to his daughter, Gabby Nelson, a player on this Shanley squad. Just an awesome thing to see, Adam. I think anyone who knows anything about Shanley from the last few years remembers Randy Nelson and just the kind of guy he was. Just a huge presence in Shanley's athletic community and really North Dakota athletics in general. That's just a nice thing to see out there, a real nice tribute to an outstanding individual. And after that ceremonial opening pitch, there is our first pitch of this game as Swanson is going to put one low. Of course, Ingrid Swanson is starting at pitcher for the Shanley Deacons. She's been doing that for the last few years, and coming into this year, she's really the ace of their staff. That one is going off the batter for a walk now. That was Lauren Demerit, who's going to get hit with the pitch there. So right off the bat, a little trouble there for Ingrid Swanson.
That's kind of the one thing you don't want to have happen is you want to get through that first batter. That's typically the hardest part. And putting her on base isn't what you typically want, but there's definitely a lot of room for Ingrid to come back from this. We'll see what she does.
For sure, and she's going up against her foe on the mound as well. This is Tori Nichols KRAFT in the batter box right now. She's a sophomore who's going to be pitching for the Packers today as she hits a low grounder to Swanson. Nelson picks that one up, able to get the out at first. And you can see they're having trouble handling the ball right now. Not stunning considering the wet conditions we've got going.
No, you can tell Gabby was motioning. It was a little slippery, a little wet, and it's not something she'd like to see.
For sure, and the glove of Nelson, she's not dropping many, if any, of those balls. Those throws from the mound to first. She's so good on those. The throws from third to first as well, she's always golden on. So a surprising drop there, but not really her fault, as that ball was no doubt quite slick. Brooklyn Mervick batting here for West Fargo. It's an 0-1 count now. Swanson on the windup, and that one's going high. I think you saw the indication there. I think she feels like that one slipped on her as well. So these conditions already, Adam, are playing a pretty big role so far. I think we've seen at least 2 plays that have been impacted by moisture on the ball, as we got a big swing here from Mervick. It's going to make it a 1-2 count here. Swanson with an opportunity to retire another batter, and another big swing from Mervick. That's out number 2, and that's a nice one there for Swanson, able to get the strikeout. It's Michaela Johnson up here for West Fargo now, the junior, and she takes a big chop at that one. Packers really swinging at these balls right now, Adam.
No, they're definitely swinging for the fences, but I mean, when you got a runner on second, that's definitely what you kind of want to be doing here. You want to hopefully bring that home, grab the initiative, and just push it in Shanley's face the rest of the game.
Meanwhile, for Shanley, if they can... Oh, well, I may be speaking too soon. Let's see if Linster can make the grab. Yes, indeed. Does not let up. She just continues running straight to the bench. She's ready to bat. Great grab there for Linster, Adam.
You know, looked like you could pop it into deep center there, but she was right there to make the grab. Made it look easy in this rain.
Yeah, I thought that one might drop just in front of her. The wind is blowing towards the batters here. It's kind of blowing from a northeasterly direction across the field, and so a lot of those balls that they hit are going to be kind of pushed back in their faces, which is typically difficult for the fielding team because you think you've got it tracked down, and then all of a sudden as it comes out of the air, you realize that's about to drop about 6 feet in front of where you're standing. Linster, though, good job adjusting on the fly. You saw her accelerate into that catch. So that's a nice grab for her. She will, of course, be the leadoff batter here now for the Deacons. We talked a lot about her this season as that leadoff batter. She's had some great games for the Deacons. She's had her struggles as well, but she's really given them everything you want out of a leadoff batter. She connects at a high clip, and when she gets on base, Adam, that's where she really starts to do the damage.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, especially with some of those other bigger hitters in her 3 and 4 backing her up, like Gabby Nelson and some of the other gals that can really hit a base or a softball, excuse me. She got a lot of chances to run and score some runs for the Deacons.
Yeah, we'll see what she's got here as Deacons will get their first opportunity on offense. Meanwhile, pitching for West Fargo, well, it was announced as Tori KRAFT. I believe that's who the Packers thought was going to be starting. Right now, though, we do see Courtney Bull warming up. And this will be interesting to see if she stays on the mound because KRAFT is out there as well. I'm not sure. Don't think they'd be warming up both of them. So for now, it seems like Courtney Bull is going to be the pitcher.
Leading off for the Deacons, number 2, Elena Linster.
So Elena Linster, the leadoff batter, like we discussed. She'll be going up against Courtney Bull. We thought it was going to be Tori KRAFT. They're both pitchers. They're both pretty good options for the Packers, but it is Bull, the junior, who will get the start here this afternoon. Linster stepping back into the box here. Bull on the windup. Linster with a big swing. And she won't connect there. So both teams really swinging at what they're seeing so far in this one, trying to jump out to that early lead. Linster going to let that one go. Wisely for a ball. That one just sneaks out. This one going to be popped up into the air by Linster. Potential out here, and the grab is made. That's Mariah Peters from the catcher position, making a great grab that time. Tough to track those down, especially when they're right up against the fence. Bull putting that one high. Little trouble with control early on in this one. She's got the speed on him. It's just the accuracy that's given her a little bit of trouble. Second pitch here going to be knocked right up for another grab. Mariah Peters from that catcher position grabs her second out of the first inning here. And now Ingrid Swanson up to bat here for Shanley. She is the pitcher like we discussed. Earlier in her career, it seemed like pitching was where her future was at, but as you can see, she's got a pretty active bat as well. As she's gone through this program, gotten older, it's been her batting that's really taken off. And she bats at the 3 for the Deacons, Nelson at the 4, and that is just a lethal duo there. Now it looks like we'll switch out balls once again here. Just desperately trying to keep these dry. So a little bit of delay there. Bull repositions and lets that one go high for a ball. Bull again going high here. A fantastic grab, though, by Mariah Peters. She's really got an impressive glove at him. We've seen her grab the 2 batters out here for West Fargo, and she's gotten a hold of some pitches that I did not think she was going to be able to get.
Well, she's certainly shown a great bit of versatility here. I mean, seems to be lightning quick with that glove, whether it's popped up in the air or just straight above her head.
Yeah, for sure. Just really, really impressive reaction time as Swanson will swing, and that's a strikeout. Bull's first of this afternoon. So that does it for the Deacons offensively. After 1 inning, though, both teams all knotted up 0-0. Folks, we're going to step away for a quick break, but don't go anywhere. We got plenty more softball action coming up for you in just a minute.
This broadcast is presented by American Family Insurance, KRAFT Agency, Bell Bank, Butler Machinery Company, Ed's Marine and Storage, the Fargo Jet Center, First International Bank and Trust, Forum Communications, Haley's Hope, Kochman Brothers Homes, Luther Family Buick GMC, Master Construction, Moore Engineering, Netrix IT, Northern Improvement Company, Off the Wall Advertising, Robert Gibb and Sons, Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine,
We're back to the action here at Sid Cichy Stadium. Jed Thomas here, of course, joined by Adam Seiler as we're getting ready for inning number 2 in some EDC softball action. It's the Shanley Deacons and the West Fargo Packers, and right off the bat, that'll be a ball for Ingrid Swanson. She's got 1 strikeout to her name so far in this game. Other than that, though, we've seen some control issues, Adam. A lot of high pitches for her.
Well, again, you can see she immediately wiped her hand off, wiped the ball off when she got it back. She's definitely feeling that water on the ball.
Maybe a bit of an overcorrection here. First one was into the turf. Second one will be a little high. And there's a great swing and hit for Dimert, who will round first and then hold up. A nice little single there for Ashlyn Dimert. So it's Bull, the pitcher, who's up to the plate now. She's looked strong pitching so far for the Packers. A couple wild pitches. It's been the same case for Swanson, though. A big part of that is just kind of settling into your game, and also the wet ball here. As Bull showed bunt, then took a swing, and we'll put that one foul left. Oh, 1 the count after that foul ball. Swanson going to put that one low now to even up the count 1-1. Swanson continuing to struggle to find her zone here. Still settling in a sense, as she'll put that one into the turf, and Dimert wanted to take off at first. She just holds up at the end, though. It's going to make things 2-1, no outs, and a runner on first. Swanson lets it go. A big swing from Bull. And that one is going to roll just foul. It was so close to being fair there, Adam. And you saw the frustration there from the third base coach for the Packers, just praying that one would stay in, and it just goes out at the last second.
Yep, just wide. And, I mean, if that one drops, that was by everybody and way into the deep corner. You probably have that runner on first scoring or at least making it to third.
Yeah, it's definitely threatening for third. Maybe that play to home, like you said, as that one will go for a ball. So that should make things 3-2 now. So we got a full count. Bull continues to show bunt, backs off, takes a swing. Rober able to settle it down at third. High throw. Nelson makes the grab and then throws it over to second, where Dimert is safe. So it is one out here for the Deacons, able to pick one up. A runner on second now for the Packers. Still a good opportunity for West Fargo, and it's Mariah Peters at the plate. Adam, we talked about Peters' reaction time from that catcher position. She made 2 of the grabs to get 2 Shanley batters out and then made a couple real nice grabs, controlling some wild pitches. Let's see if that reaction time also translates to her batting. Swanson going to put that one high. 1-1 count. Swanson lets this one go, popped way up in the air by Peters. That's very foul right, as it's now a 1-2 count. You can really see that wind whipping. You can see equipment in both benches blown away now, as this is going to be a pop fly grabbed out. Nice play made by Weigel. Or excuse me, that's Lucian rather from the second base position playing over. Maki will foul that one back. I believe that's Mankey, rather. That sounds better, Adam. Not quite sure on that one, as that'll be a swing and a miss, no good. So it's an 0-2 count now with 2 outs. Ingrid Swanson seems to be settling down a bit. She's kind of found that zone. She's got a couple more of these pitches in the strike zone, although that one will be just outside. But still, though, I definitely think we're seeing her get into a bit of a zone.
You know, it seems like she comes into the inning maybe a little looser on the first, at least this first and second inning, and then seems to tighten up at the end and definitely kind of work out whatever she had going on.
Oh, no, go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, no, it's the exact same situation we faced last inning where you let an early runner on and then someone sacrifices to get him to second, and now they've seemed to shut him down like they did in the first inning.
Mankey making some good contact here, Adam. She's been just about there. Hasn't quite gotten a full hold of one though, but you can see she's doing a good job getting the bat on the ball. So still tied up 0-0. Packers have an opportunity to score here potentially, as that one's just outside. Full count now, 3-2. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed at Shanley's ability to hold back this West Fargo attack. You know, we talked about the defensive deficiencies for Shanley, and they have not really shown up here today. As Mankey will take a swing at that one and strike out, so that's another strikeout there for Swanson. That'll be her second of the game, and now we'll see Shanley back on offense. But like I was saying, the Deacon defense, it's been their weak point, if you want to say, this season, but that has not been the case here this afternoon. I've really been impressed with what they've done.
No, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, still holding them to 0 runs after 2 innings. That's really good stuff for the Deacons. That's what you want to see. Hopefully a big confidence booster as the game continues on. If Ingrid Swanson can keep up that great pitching that we're starting to see towards the end of the inning there, Shanley could have a real chance at beating West Fargo here.
Absolutely, and now you see Nelson will be the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the second, and that's good news for Shanley. That's a good part of their order. Nelson, of course, one of, if not their best hitter, the St. Cloud State commit. has had a great season hitting. She's even had to step in and do some pitching. Hasn't gone the best for her, but that's very understandable as she was called upon in an emergency earlier in the year to step in and pitch for the first time in, I believe, about 5 years competitively. So she can do it all when asked to. It's certainly tough, but again, that just shows the versatility of Nelson, a great player for the Shanley team.
Well, here we're going to see her real specialty, and that is swinging a bat. She can really put a ball deep.
Yeah, no doubt about it. This will be fun to see what she can do. Wind not working in her favor, blowing right back in her face, but we'll see. Certainly she can still do some damage. Bull puts that one right down the middle for a very pretty looking strike. That's what you want to see. We didn't see a whole bunch of those from her in the first inning, but like we saw with Swanson, there's a lot of time left to settle down and kind of find your groove here. That one going to be a hair low to even up the count 1-1. Pitch number 3 here for Courtney Bull will be another low one, making it a 2-1 count. And you can just hear that wind whipping right now, Adam. I mean, it is just really right in the faces of these batters. It's going to make any ball you put high very tough, as it will be coming right back. I'm not predicting any home runs is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, not today. That wind is, like you said, straight into the batter's faces. It'll also help put a little bit more, just a little bit more, behind those pitchers' balls as they toss them towards the plate. It looks like it's definitely speeding up the pitches coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think that's a good benefit here for the pitchers, as you see a very nice strikeout there for Bull. Very impressive, going up against one of Shanley's best batters there.
Yeah, that last pitch was pretty perfect according to the umpire. I mean, she just hit that bottom line. Gabby Nelson not happy with the call, but it looked pretty decent from up here.
Yeah, definitely on the line, like you said. Could see it both ways, but like you said, I think the ump makes the right call there. It's Schanzenbach, the shortstop, now batting for the Deacons, as Bull is really starting to heat up here. Schanzenbach takes a big swing. Bull floated that one up a bit high. You could see what Schanzenbach saw. It looked like it was coming right into the sweet spot there, and then at the last second it goes high on her. And Bull this time puts it a little too high, unintentionally I would assume, evening the count up 2-2. Still with just one out here for the Deacons. Schanzenbach, young player, just a 10th grader, but certainly an up-and-comer for this Shanley team. Got a lot of playing time last year. Been with this varsity team for a while, as that's another strikeout. I believe that is number 3 here for Courtney Bull.
Now batting number 6, Hope Rober.
Hope Rober now to the plate for the Deacons, one of only 2 seniors on this team. Really, her calling card as a batter, Adam, is just her patience and vision. She does not swing it much, as Bull will airmail that one. Lucky that no one is on base that time. She's looked really good here in this inning. That's maybe her first bad pitch, if you want to say, of this inning. Talk about Rober's vision. That time a little easier to make the call, as that one will go low. 2-0 now the count. Rober steps out of the box there, takes a couple swings. In a good position here. Again with 2 balls, no strikes. Bull puts that one where it needs to be, and she gets a big swing out of Rober. Certainly must have felt comfortable in her situation there. 2 balls, felt like she had a bit of wiggle room to take a swing there.
No, it was definitely probably the right pitch for Hope. She just ended up coming a little bit, I think, slow off that one and didn't quite catch it. But it's right in her wheelhouse, right where she wants that pitch to be.
Clearly felt, again, like she had something to work with there. She was, again, must have been comfortable with that 2-1 count, so she takes another big swing. And the Deacons are just not really connecting on anything right now. Bull is, she's had a couple balls here and there. She's had a couple wild pitches, but not many. Those have been few and far between. For the most part, she is just daring the Deacons to take a swing. And when they do, not much is happening. As she does put that one high, Rober wisely lets it go to give us a full count now. 3-2, 2 outs. Tough spot for the senior. Bull able to get a big swing out of Rober there. Not often that she'll do that on the 3-2 count. Oftentimes she likes to see if she can get the walk. That time, though, clearly saw something she liked. Unfortunately for the Deacons, though, can't get anything on that one. And so West Fargo continues to shut them down defensively. The Deacons, though, meanwhile, have been just as good on defense in their own right. They have kept this thing tied up 0-0. And I'd certainly say, you know, that's a win for Shanley right now, headed into the top of the third, to be still tied.
Yeah, no, definitely. If Shanley can keep up what they're doing, Ingrid Swanson can keep hitting the strike box like she has been, and the defense is solid, there's really no reason they can't get a not even a lucky burst, just a burst of any kind in one of these innings coming up and take a quick lead.
And mentally, for such a young team, Adam, to be able to come in here against a real dynasty of North Dakota softball and to play them really close to maybe come away with a win, it would just be so huge for them, wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm. No, it would absolutely be. It'd be a great morale booster, especially for a team that's 1-6. You know, it's definitely not the best season they've had. Certainly a rebuilding year. To come out and beat a team that is 11-3 and just notorious for being really good at softball like West Fargo is, it'd be excellent for them.
Speaking of dynasties, of course, tonight, 9:30 p.m., it's the Golden State Warriors looking to punch their ticket to the Western Conference Final. Got a 3-1 series lead on the Pelicans. Adam, your thoughts on what, well, I want to say should be a good game, but to be honest, I wouldn't count on it with the Warriors with an opportunity to clinch the series.
You know, I'm not the biggest NBA guy. I watch a little bit now and again, but I think most everybody knows how dominant the Warriors are currently. I mean, they just have too many weapons, really, for the Pelicans to touch them.
Certainly, you know, you got Anthony Davis, Drew Holiday in there for New Orleans. There's some solid players. Anthony Davis, certainly a world-caliber player, but when you're going up against a team with 4 world-caliber players, it's obviously difficult, like you said. The Rockets, meanwhile, with a 3-1 series lead on the Jazz. If I'm being totally honest, I don't think they're going to get a lot of resistance out of the Jazz tonight. I think we're setting up for what everybody predicted, a Warriors-Rockets Western Conference Final. And if you ask me, I think that's pretty much deciding your NBA champion.
No, I think anyone who comes out of the West here is going to probably walk through the final. I mean, the East, although they got some good, I mean, Cleveland's been solid. It's nothing
Sweep the Raptors.
That's true. But I don't think it's anything really that could stop Golden State or the Rockets, respectively.
Yeah, I mean, it is just the Raptors, let's be honest. Postseason Raptors. If it were regular season Raptors, I'd be taking notice. But postseason, that's just kind of standard for the NBA playoffs. So we're in the top of the third. Shanley and West Fargo in a deadlock as Swanson puts that one high. Said you're not much of an NBA guy, Adam. I think we all know you're more of an NHL fan. You must have been excited, as I think most people were, to see the Washington Capitals break their curse and finally make it out of the second round last night.
Yeah, my philosophy is anybody but the Penguins. So to see them go down, that was a good night.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, speaking of dynasties, Pittsburgh Penguins not going to get the opportunity for the three-peat, knocked out, of course, in the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs, as that one's put just inside for a strike. So we'll have a new NHL champion, and for the first time, it's been the same 4 teams for the last 10 years, actually, between the Kings, the Bruins, the Blackhawks, and the, oh, help me out here, Kings, Bruins, Blackhawks, Penguins, of course. Yeah, how could I forget the last 2 years? We're going to have a new champion, though. It will not be one of those 4 teams for the first time in 10 years, which is honestly a little hard to believe.
You know, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Oh, wow.
Well, yeah, let's watch this towering hit get off the NHL for a second. Not much going to come of it, though. You saw that wind push it right back, and a nice grab made in left field that time by Krista Schanzenbach.
Yeah, we're forgetting we got a good game right in front of us.
Dimert at the plate here, Lauren Dimert for West Fargo, as that one's put low. So 1-0 count now for Swanson. And you got a ball there, making it 2-0. Dimert in a good position. Swanson, meanwhile, looking to work her way out of a bit of a jam. And she's able to get a strike on that one. Critical strike there. Never want to put yourself in that 3-0 hole more often than not. Just very difficult to dig out of those situations. And there's a high ball that time to make it 3-1. Swanson wipes that ball off quickly and then puts it low for a ball. So that'll be a walk. And that's a nice break for West Fargo, as offense has been incredibly hard to come by given the inclement weather we've got here.
Well, it's just, it's interesting, you know, she seemed to have found her rhythm at the end of that second inning, and now Ingrid Swanson back again, 4 balls there. That's definitely not what we were expecting coming into the third.
Yes, certainly, and you know, to a degree, I guess it's not shocking. You know, her pitching has been solid, I think, for most of this season when you consider how young this team is. A lot of errors on defense from a lot of young players who are still kind of figuring things out. But I think she definitely has been streaky to a degree. And again, a lot of that could be due to those defensive errors and the youth of the team. But streaky pitching has been kind of the story for Shanley this season. Tori Nichols-KRAFT at the plate right now for West Fargo. We thought she would be pitching. She's one of West Fargo's options at pitcher, as she pops this one way up. And this should be another easy grab for an out, and that is the case. Schanzenbach able to make the grab. That time it's Callie Schanzenbach. So we're still tied up here, 0-0 in the top of the third. The sun just starting to peek out a little bit through the clouds. Don't want to jinx it and scare it off, but we might have a little bit of sunshine here for the next few innings.
You know, one thing I think we haven't mentioned yet, but I'm just really starting to notice now, is you can see Shanley's definitely kind of backing off of West Fargo's bats. You have your second baseman and shortstop playing fairly deep.
Well, yeah, just as you were talking about it, Linster tried to make an awkward grab that time. It doesn't work for her. A great throw in to Nelson, trying to throw him out. They cannot. Finally, someone breaks through. Lauren Dimert scores for West Fargo. And how about that? You know, Linster made a couple of adjustments there trying to track that one down. Ended up almost doing the splits out there trying to make the grab. Unable to get it. She made a nice throw, but Shanley just a couple seconds short of getting the out at home.
Yeah, just as I'm talking about them being worried about that deep ball, you see it there. They put it deep enough. I think the wind kind of threw her off in center field, and they were able to make a play out of it.
Yeah, the wind definitely playing with that ball a little bit, as Rober is having trouble tracking that one down. Makes the throw to first, and that will be an out, so Shanley escapes with just one run of damage that time, but that could have been a lot worse, Adam. Packers had a runner on second that was very close to a single there. The bats were starting to heat up. I'd say Shanley's got to be happy to walk away with just giving up one run there, the way things started to go at the very end of that inning.
That was very fortunate also that you get a swing off one of the first pitches you throw on the next batter. After a quick run there, a good hit, you can get off the field right away, let your defense make a play, and just that inning is in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. And now the Shanley offense has not done much. This is going to be the big thing for them. We talked about how defense would probably be their struggle here. Really hasn't been the case so far. I think it's the offense that's that they've really had trouble with, and this will be a crucial inning for them. See if they can't respond. Maybe get one run back, maybe even get two. Take a lead would be huge for them. But again, even if they could just get some girls on base, that'd even be nice, just as a little bit of a confidence booster.
That's what I was just thinking. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Shanley has had in their 2 innings a runner on base at all yet.
I don't think so, Adam. I was actually just trying to think about that myself. I don't think that's the case. So certainly a great game being pitched right now by Courtney Bowl. Like you said, I don't think anyone has reached base yet for the Shanley Deacons. The one thing for him in this inning, though, you know, even if you could get someone on base just from the confidence perspective, that'd be great. But if I'm Shanley, I'm a little worried that one inning wasn't an isolated incident for West Fargo and that the bats might really start to heat up. So if they could tie this thing up, maybe get them 2 runs of just some insurance here, that'd be very nice, because I'm, in the back of my head, I'd be just a little worried that that's kind of the beginning of something for the Packers.
That seems to be the case a lot in these sports like baseball, softball, that kind of thing. It's the first run's always the hardest to get. It's that breaking the ice, and if West Fargo's really done that, they could potentially open this game up. So Shanley's got to try to shut them down here, get some action of their own going, and try to even this game up.
Yeah, no doubt. Getting that first run is just very difficult, especially in a game where both teams are having so much trouble getting offense. Games like this where the weather is really geared toward a more defensive struggle, getting that first run can really help you break through. As another batter is retired there for the Deacons. That is another strikeout here for Bull. I believe that's number 4. That number might be a little higher, though. I might have missed one in there. There were so many at him. And there's a swing that time from Lucian. Lucian, just a 7th grader. That's really a crazy number here. The 7th grader, a key piece for the Shanley Deacons. Lucian, of course, herself is from Oak Grove, part of that co-op that helps a lot with this Shanley team. 3 Oak Grove girls, actually, on the Shanley team. You got Azana Lucian playing second. You've got Elena Linster at center field, and then you've got Katie Pickering, who comes off the bench. And then you do have 1 part Christian girl in Maddie Remke. That's the catcher.
And another part Christian in Ingrid Swanson, the pitcher.
Oh, yeah, my bad there, Adam.
Yep.
Thank you. That's a pretty critical girl from Park Christian there. The pitcher and the catcher actually forming a pretty important duo, if I do say so myself. As that is strikeout number 5 for Bull, as Lucian is retired, just as we were talking there. Krista Schanzenbach at the plate right now, as that one goes high for Bull. Making it a 1-0 count. Another high pitch, going to make it 2-0. And so Schanzenbach in a good position right now. Bull giving her something to work with. Bull finally gets one in there, making it 2-1. That's the thing with Courtney Bull. She'll give you a little bit of light there, give you a little hope, and then she'll take it all away with one well-timed pitch down the middle. And a big swing there from Schanzenbach. She saw something, but it went away quickly as she's unable to connect. Bull gets another strikeout there. That is now 6 unofficially. I can't not saying for sure here. I believe that is 6 strikeouts. I do know it's a lot, I'll say that much. She has just been on fire, and she's getting better and better as this one goes on. That's the scary thing.
3 in the 2 innings, supposedly 3 in the 2 innings. And then, I mean, all 3 batters in that 3rd inning. So that's, I mean, that's a lot of damage for one pitcher. She can, if she keeps that up, I mean, it's going to be a quick game from the Deacons' point of view. They really got to break that somehow and try to get some runners on base.
Well, you know, that is the thing about softball, Adam. It's the nice thing versus baseball. You don't do so much damage to the arm when you're pitching underhand. You can pitch a lot more innings, throw a lot more pitches, and still feel pretty fresh the next day. And so you're able, if you have 1, 2 really good pitchers, to just keep rolling that, you know, one ace or staff. A girl like Bowl or like Swanson for Shanley, you can just keep them going game after game, as opposed to baseball where, you know, you got those pitch counts and you gotta be pretty deep at pitcher in baseball if you want to go anywhere. Whereas in softball, you know, if you do have that one ace, they can really take you pretty far. So just, you know, one of those quirks of softball. Well, one of the things that makes it a nice sport, kind of a nice alternative to baseball in that regard, too, because I think there's certainly a lot of people who don't love having to rely on 5 pitchers. As a Twins fan, I can say that with a lot of certainty. I'm not a big fan of having to rely on 5 pitchers, as this one's going to be fouled off left. Speaking of the Twins, Adam, they played a game today. Let's see how that went. Surprisingly for the Twins, it was a 7-1 win over the Cardinals. Jake Odorizzi pitching for them, just 1 earned run over 5 innings pitched. And Odorizzi has been a nice pickup for the Twins. Made some moves in the offseason to try to bolster that bullpen, and Odorizzi has certainly been a good addition, of course, as a starter, I should say. He's been not lights out for the Twins, but for a Twins pitcher, he's been above average, let's say.
I was going to say, that's excellent just to see anything from the Twins pitching-wise.
And that is not what you want to see. We had a pop fly right there in short left field, and there was a collision that time, I believe, between the Schanzenbach sisters, Callie and Krista. Callie coming in there from the shortstop position, Krista coming down from left field, and neither one really made the call, and then they both kind of collide there shoulder to shoulder. Unfortunately, unable to make the grab, and those are the ones that really frustrate you as a coach and as a pitcher, Adam.
Yeah, that's one of those little just communication issues. It's not great to see, but I guess it is what it is. That's what you get when you have your shortstop playing really deep there, looking to make that play sliding back. She can't see, I believe her sister in left field out there running in to make the play. Just an unfortunate miscommunication. And
that's we've seen a good deal of that from Shanley this year. And again, I think it's just so much that youth aspect. I mean, that time it was a collision between a 9th and a 10th grader. Certainly not ideal. I will say, though, West Fargo, you look at this team, it's not quite as young as Shanley, but it's pretty darn young. Just 1 senior on the team. I'm really impressed with the discipline that they play with, considering their age. It's an 0-2 count right now. No outs in this inning. And a runner on first for the Packers. Swanson going to put that one high. I'll make it 1-2, still in a good spot. Swanson lets this one go, fouled way back by Bull. You saw Bull get a hold of one earlier here that went just foul left, and she's really starting to heat up, not just pitching but batting-wise as well. I think Bull is really showing that she is certainly one of West Fargo's best all-around players.
Her batting especially, she's showing a real defensive stance. She's just kind of fouling off everything she doesn't really want. Oh, there.
And there's a bit of an awkward fair ball that rolled back into the catcher. Bull going to get thrown out at first on a bit of a fluky play. Deacons will certainly take it, though. Able to pick up their first out of this inning. Runner will advance to second for the Packers. And stepping up to the plate now is Mariah Peters, the catcher. She's done a lot of damage defensively. Offensively, not quite as much, but she's got an opportunity to turn that around, and I think she will. Putting this one through the gap between the center and right fielder. She'll be rounding second now. Peters maybe looking to push for third. That won't be the case, but a runner will score for West Fargo, opening things up just a little bit now, up 2-0.
See that? She was ready to jump right on that pitch. I mean, the instant it came down, she was ready for it and puts it into the fence. Definitely rewarded for her efforts, just on top of that play.
Peters, I was talking about it. She's been so good defensively, and there you see a very active bat that time. Puts it right where it needs to be, exploiting the gap in the outfield. Great hit there, as now she'll come off, and they'll put a pinch runner in for her. So it's 2-0 now, our score in favor of the Packers. Not going to say I called it, but I did say I thought we might see the offense open up a little bit for West Fargo. Shanley, though, they were doing fine, as that one is going to be caught out by Schanzenbach at the shortstop position. So, see, they still are doing pretty well. It's not like this one has fallen apart on them. It's just the Packers have found their bats enough to start doing some damage. They're not doing a ton, but the Deacons have to find their bats as well to keep this one close.
Well, that's... Oh, here we go.
Yeah, we got a pop fly back here. It's going to be an easy grab there at second.
Well, that's kind of the unfortunate thing about softball and baseball in is that it doesn't really take a huge string of explosive plays to score a run or score a goal. Jeez Louise, score a run or any sort of that stuff. It's consistency on the little stuff. It only takes a couple quick hits, especially in softball here, to score a run like you've seen. It was it wasn't a home run or anything. 2 decent hits, and they have a run, and then another person on second ready to score if they would have maybe gotten one more hit. It's just the little stuff that counts in softball.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Adam. that's the way it goes, like you said, with softball and baseball and anything of the like. So we'll see how Shanley can respond here. Like I said, it's just going to be really important for them to get something going offensively here. Still without a runner on as of yet. Luckily for them, they're in a very good part of their order. They've got Linster leading off here, as she does, so they're back at the top of the order. And behind her, it is a very strong crew. You got Swanson and Nelson there at 3rd and 4th, respectively. If Linster can get on as well, you know, she does so much damage. The big thing for Bowl is, so obviously she hasn't given up a hit here, which is, you know, obviously she's pitching well enough to do that in the first place. But if you can get a runner on, if you can just get someone on there to, you know, get her to start thinking about a potential steal here or anything of the sort, that really can start to affect the rest of her pitching. You know, you get one crack in the armor and the rest of it might go as Linster's going to try the bunt. Bull gets to it and makes the easy throw at first. Linster trying to use the speed that time, almost got it, but not quite. Like I was saying, though, if you can get one person on, get the little chink in the armor, the rest of it can go down quick. So Shanley, though, just hasn't even given themselves the opportunity to get that going, though. So
yeah, a huge part of pitching here is definitely the confidence. And, I mean, she's retired now 10 straight batters. That's definitely – she's got to be feeling that now.
And now we got a brief little conference at the mound here as first base is going to be wiped clean with a towel. All right, so first base, hopefully sufficiently dry to continue the game. As we're in the bottom of the 4th, 2-0 lead for the visitors on the scoreboard, the West Fargo Packers. 1 out after that Linster bunt does not quite work out for her. And it is Lucian at the plate. The swing, and there's a hit finally for the Deacons. It's going to drop in the middle of center, and that'll be, let's call it a double, as Lucian is able to slide into second safe, and how about that? Deacons able to open this one up, finally getting a runner on base. That is just huge for him.
That's a great way to do it, too. I mean, puts it into the fence, an absolute bomb. And, I mean, all of a sudden, you have your best part of the lineup coming up, and you have a runner in scoring position. All they need is a single or really anything on base here.
So Bull, fresh off giving up her first hit of the game, has now got Lucian on second, and she puts that one low to Swanson. So the Deacons now with arguably their 2 best batters up right now, Swanson and Nelson. Got to be getting in Bull's head as Swanson is going to connect, and look at this thing starting to open up for the Deacons. Lucian going to round third, headed for home. It's going to be close, but she'll get there, and the Deacons score, getting their first run of this afternoon. So now Swanson on second after the double. A runner has scored for Shanley, and suddenly, in a game that looked like they were starting to lose their hold on, they are in great position. Nelson now at the plate as Bull's able to get a strike there. Packers certainly just trying to do some damage control here. As Nelson will connect. It's a little blooper, though, going foul left. And look at that, Adam, right as Shanley scores. Finally see some blue sky up there. The sun just breaking through. Everything just starting to go the way of the Deacons right now. West Fargo, though, still leads by 1. It's anyone's game. Packers, again, still with that lead, and the ability to, you know, continue to have control over this one, as this is going to be a wild pitch and advance Swanson to third. And this is going to be an interesting response from Bull. So far, she has not done a ton here to really respond. She's continuing to have her struggles after giving up that big hit that opened everything up. So, you know, finally faced with some adversity here, it's going to be important for Bull to respond well.
You know, I thought maybe she'd work through it. She had Gabby Nelson down 0-2 on the count, and so she looked like she was in control there. But then the wild pitch and another really low one, she got her catcher talking to her, and it's definitely not where you want to be if you're West Fargo.
No, like I said, first real adversity, and like you said, Bull was starting to get back on track there, but that wild pitch cost her. As now Nelson pops this one way up. And that's about as dangerous as a foul as they get, just soaring up into the sky. Luckily, going to just fall away from everyone in the stands, as it is still a 2-2 count, 1 out. Swanson on third. Nelson again going to connect, but that one's going way foul. And she's really making contact right now with this ball, just not getting enough of it to actually generate something. All these hits have been going behind her instead of in front, which is not quite what you want. Bull takes her time on this one, lets it go, and again, Nelson just fouls it off, swinging at a couple high pitches here.
I think she wasn't happy with how her strike zone was called last time she was up to bat, and I think you can definitely see it in this way. She's not letting anything close slide. She definitely wants to just foul everything off and stay in this.
Yeah, if you lose confidence in that umpire, if you don't think it's going to be called correctly, here as she strikes out, you're definitely going to swing a bit more. And, you know, whether or not that's not being called correctly, I think they've all been pretty close. I think we've thought they've been fine. But as a batter,
at least.
Yeah, it looks consistent is a big thing. And again, as a batter, though, I think it's a totally different story, because even if you think most of the calls are going correctly, if you think they're calling it one way or another, you're certainly going to try and adapt the way you're playing to the way the umpire's calling it. And that's the beauty of baseball and softball, is you've got that kind of human error in there. And I think that definitely contributes to the gamesmanship of the sport. So Bull, after having some trouble with Nelson there, they were deadlocked for a long time, finally able to break out of that one, get the strikeout. Bull is very happy to be out of there, and you can see it in the way she's playing here. Quick 2 strikes. That third pitch going to be low. Shanley just desperately wants to get Swanson home here. If they could get the tying run, that would just be huge for him. Bull put it a little high, it looked like, but the swing was there from Schanzenbach, and that ends the inning for the Deacons. Certainly their most successful one offensively, finally able to generate something. They got a runner home, almost got Swanson home to tie it. Shanley cannot be displeased with what they did there. Just a great inning for them.
Yeah, you never like to leave a runner on third, but I think this is the one inning Shanley's not going to be too concerned about that. I mean, they really broke the ice on hitting, getting 3 total runners on base, I believe. Or nope, just the 2. But
just the 2, yeah. But
still, I mean, a lot of fouling the ball off and stuff. A lot of good cuts from Shanley, and it's something that you're hopefully going to see them advance on later in the game.
And here's some baseball news that I think just broke here. The New York Mets are trading starting pitcher Matt Harvey to the Cincinnati Reds, and that's a not, I guess, surprising move. You know, I don't know how big of a baseball guy you are, Adam, but Matt Harvey, of course, was an ace for the Mets in 2014, 2013, who really kind of fell off the map after they made that World Series they lost to the Royals. If you recall, Matt Harvey was dominant up till that point and then just kind of fell off. They wanted to send him down to the minors earlier in the week. He actually refused a designation to their AAA ball team, and so, you know, faced with a tough situation, the Mets just are forced to deal Matt Harvey. Really kind of a sad story there for him. A promising player who was never quite the same after Tommy John, I believe, was the surgery he had. Almost as tragic was the impact that had on my fantasy team, as I invested a lot to get Matt Harvey. I won't say everything I traded for him, but Miguel Cabrera was part of that package. Oof. Isn't it sad that there was more past Miguel Cabrera?
That's wow.
Yeah. Just straight up I could live with maybe, but there was more in that deal.
Yeah, I don't watch baseball a lot, and I know that's
even you know, yes. I'd like to think I've gotten a little smarter since I've made that deal. I'd like to think that. I don't know if it's true.
I can't make any promises.
So Swanson not starting this one off the way she wants to, as Dimer will advance to first.
I think that'll be her second hit batter of the night, actually.
Yeah, I do believe that's correct. In fact, it might have actually been.
Is it the same?
I think it might be. I don't want to say that for sure, though. I'm not positive. Would certainly be funny if it was, as Nichols KRAFT pops that one up, and it's going to be caught out. Another good grab there by Lucian at that second base position. Two to one, still our score. One out here for the Packers, one runner on first. Mervick batting. Swanson, the windup. Mervick, big swing. Packers can feel it right now to a degree. Adam, I think they smell blood in the water a little bit. You know, I don't think it's quite as dramatic as that sounds, but I think they can feel things cracking a little bit for Shanley, and they want to push it right now to try and exploit the advantage they have.
Yeah, they definitely opened it up in the last inning, and although Shanley countered a little bit, I mean, it's definitely not going to stop West Fargo's offense. They've generally been outscoring their opponents by quite a lot, and so you expect some hot bats from them.
And here's a big hit from Mervick way up into the air. Deacons couldn't track it down. That's okay, though. It was out and foul. Would have liked to grab her out, but they're just happy that one didn't drop fair. So it's a 1-2 count now, again with one out. Just the one runner on first here for the Packers. Solid contact being made right now, though, for Brooklyn Mervick. Mervick, another swing and another foul to her left. Swanson. The windup, and Mervick gonna connect, gonna find the gap, not quite. Schanzenbach grabs it out in left field, but a wild throw in, and here we go. It's gonna be a race to home, and another wild throw won't connect as we've got a scoring runner here. It's Lauren Dimer who makes it home and safe just barely. Meanwhile, that'll end up being a triple for Brooklyn Mervick.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate turn of events for Shanley. You know, already going to have a runner on third, and then that wild throw ends up costing them the run, and another runner advanced to third. So it's just, again, those little errors that are definitely deciding the pace of the game so far for Shanley.
And Adam, I don't know about you, but I felt like I could really feel that one coming from Mervick as we got a throw out at first and Nelson threatens to do the same at third. But I really felt like you could feel that one coming from Mervick. She was making so much contact, fouling him off. It just felt like it was, inevitable, and finally it did happen there.
It's the same thing, yeah, for a lot of West Fargo. You can see him just kind of zeroing in on how Swanson's pitching. It's going to probably have some results for him here.
Swanson puts that one low. It's 2 outs with a runner on third here for the Packers. Swanson lets this one go, able to find the strike zone that time, even things up 1-1. Be a ball that time, as Ashlyn Dimert is just going to let it go by. And Dimert will connect. It's going to stay fair. Maybe not. That one will roll foul. And so we stay at this 2-2 count with 2 outs in the top of the 5th. A 3-1 lead in favor of West Fargo. Sun continues to poke out here. Can see it shining down on the outfield right now. And Dimert takes a swing. She chased a high one, and Linster will catch her out in center field. I actually thought that one might find the gap in between Linster and Weigel, but it just started to curl towards Linster that time.
Again, although the winds died down a little bit, you could definitely see it kind of got up high and then really kind of slowed down to a stop. Linster had to readjust and sprint in further. That ball just didn't get its full potential because of that wind blowing it straight back to home plate.
Absolutely, Adam. I actually really thought that one was going to be well over the head of Linster. Even as I saw it starting to curl towards her, I thought it was still going to be clear over her. And like you said, it hits really like an invisible wall up there. You know, it just kind of drops all of a sudden, and that can be hard as a as a defender, as an outfielder, to try and track those when the wind starts playing tricks with them. But on the flip side, sometimes it works out for you, like you saw there. So this is going to be really, Adam, I think, a critical inning. Obviously for Shanley, you're down 3-1 here. You want to build off the success of your last trip to the plate. But I think more than anything, it's going to be huge for Courtney Bull to try and, I don't want to say rebuild her confidence, because I don't think her confidence is in any trouble right now, especially the way she recovered from her first couple hits of this game. But this is going to be big for her to try and reassert her dominance. We'll see if she can do that, or if, Shanley's really opened this thing up for good, and now their offense is going to be more consistent. So not a great pitch to start off for Bull. She bounces one just in front, but we've seen a good deal of that from her today. Oftentimes she has the occasional wild pitch, and then right after that she'll come out for oftentimes 3 quick strikes or something close to that. Bull with the windup pitch number 2, trending low as well for another ball. And again, it's Rober at the plate, who, like I said, just does not swing. And it's a pretty effective strategy for her. We saw her really push Bull earlier, got it to a full count, and finally was retired. Going to try and change that here as she takes a swing. And so we see a lot of this from her. She likes to let the first couple pitches go by, build up that 2-0 deficit for the pitcher and give herself a good position, and then she starts chasing them like you saw there. That one was trending a little high. She took a swing nonetheless, so she likes to try and use that 2-0 hole that the pitcher is in to her advantage, as that one finds its way in for a strike.
I think that's one of the other things she may have noticed, because that ball looked a little high, but that's how the referee, or the umpire, excuse me. Gee, I'm all over the place in sports. That is how the umpire's been calling him today. He's definitely been calling a little high for across the board, and I think Hope's taken note of that as she gets struck out in 5.
Another impressive strikeout there for Bull, and the Shanley batters, they've had a little success, but for the most part still, they just look stumped.
Well, I mean, you don't usually have a pitcher that goes down 2-0 to start off and then comes back with 3 great strikes. There's just a level of confidence about her that certainly makes Bull deadly with a pitch.
And in there batting for Shanley right now is Josephine Bowden, the sophomore. I believe she's pinch hitting right now. She was not part of that starting lineup.
I actually haven't seen Josephine bat at all this year, but I mean, if she can do some damage, that could be very useful at this part of the lineup here.
Absolutely, as you see her chase that one, and even more than that, I think the potential benefit here for Shanley is maybe messing with the pitcher's head here. Bull at this point has seen everyone, or at least thought she saw everyone. Okay, so Bowden will be retired, so maybe my point doesn't have a ton of merit. I was going to say it might be nice for Shanley to get a new face in there, someone Bull hasn't faced yet. Obviously, that's not the case, as a batter just seems to be a batter for her. It doesn't really matter who. She's just going to strike you out more often than not.
Do we have any unofficial count on how many that is on the day? Or are we kind of just giving up on tracking? She's had quite a few.
I was really hoping you wouldn't ask me that, Adam, because somewhere along the lines I missed a couple and then realized I was in a hole I wasn't going to dig myself out of. And so I'll tell you what, I stopped at about 7 or 8. I think 8 was the last I had on the unofficial. We're well over that number, I'll tell you that much.
I was thinking it was somewhere in that ballpark.
It is. We're definitely into the double digits. We're into the mid-teens right now. If I do... if I'm going to make an estimate here, I'd certainly say we're in the mid-teens. So Shanley TV stats there for you. Always top of the line. And right now at the plate, Lucian is going to be struck out. And I do want to say the hit that opened things up was not Lucian in that last inning. That was actually Maddie Remke, I believe, when the jacket goes on. And I can't see the number. That one's on me, though. as I didn't think Lucian was at that part of the order, but that was Remke, so I do want to give credit where credit is due. That's the sophomore catcher who's had a nice game, been a couple wild pitches, and she really hasn't let any of them get by her. So Remke actually has had a pretty nice game batting and defensively as well. So you see Lucian that time actually will strike out there for the Deacons, as most of the rest of the order has done for a lot this afternoon.
You know, one interesting thing about this Shanley dynamic is you were talking about Remke there. As we noted earlier, she's a Park Christian girl, and like so many of these key players, they're actually co-op players that play with the actual Shanley students. And it creates an interesting dynamic that we have 3 schools here playing together as a team. I mean, a lot of your key players, Ingrid Swanson, Maddie Reimke, like Elena Linster. It's a lot of big names that are seen a lot on this field. It's just a different thing that you don't see at West Fargo or any of these other public schools.
Absolutely. You know, and I think it's the flip side for West Fargo here is they had to divide their team. You know, you've got Shanley, Park Christian, and Oak Grove, who are all combining for one team, and then you've got West Fargo, who had to split theirs up a couple of years back with Cheyenne. So unique situations for both sides, like you were saying there, Adam, is now we've got Courtney Bowl batting, and she's been pretty good batting so far in this game. She hasn't done a ton of damage, but she's been making a lot of contact like so many of these Packer batters. She's been on the cusp, has not quite broken through yet. This could be the time, though, as she fouls off to the left. So, 3-1, still our scores. We got no 2 count here. Top of the 6th, no outs. High pitch there from Swanson, going to make things 1-2. And here's a big hit from Bull, but that's going well foul and into the stands. And she has just fouled so many of these pitches, most of them pretty sharp to her left. And Swanson able to strike out Bull, so Bull getting a taste of her own medicine there. Swanson saying, how do you like it? As she's able to strike out Courtney Bull. So now up to the plate for West Fargo, we do have Mariah Peters, and Peters has had a very nice day, both defensively and batting. Saw her break through, I believe it was last inning, or maybe the inning before, actually. Nonetheless, Mariah Peters has been lights out for the Packers. That one's just a little high there for Swanson. 2-0 the count now with 1 out. Nobody on for West Fargo. And there's a big swing. That one's just fouled. Caught it on a low part of the bat there, right by the hands. And Swanson will put that one high. Another ball. So 3-1 our count now. And here's a towering pop fly. Should be caught out. Not quite, but it did go foul, and there was a nice effort there from Weigel, getting all the way over there and just a hair short of it. So that is going to make it a full count now, 3-2. Again, 1 out, no one on. Swanson lets it go, and that one was chased a bit by Peters as she'll be thrown out at first. That one looked like it was headed pretty low. In fact, it looked like it might take a bounce. I'm impressed she was just able to get any bat on that. She swung. I mean, I think she connected in front of the plate, so not the best one to swing at, but, I mean...
Oh, yeah, it was definitely interesting, especially from someone who's been pretty disciplined on what she's swinging at today.
To a degree, though, I mean, you got to give it to her, being able to connect on that one in such a tough spot as Nelson makes an athletic grab there at first. And Nelson hasn't had a ton of luck batting today, but defensively she's continued to be rock solid. And, you know, we talk so much about her batting. I think we do gloss over the defense occasionally because she makes some pretty impressive grabs at first.
Just a reminder, at the end of the game, we will be honoring our seniors, so please stick around and
So headed into the bottom of the 6th, it's a big opportunity for Shanley, trailing 3-1. They had one successful inning. The 4th was where they really got things going. This last inning in the 5th, they really were unable to do much of anything. So I think Shanley was hoping that after that 4th they would break it open, and that just was not the case, at least in the 5th. So we'll see what they can do here. Hopefully, you know, they're hoping that the 4th wasn't just a fluke and that they've got more left in the tank. But I tell you what, Courtney Bohl has shown no signs of tiring here.
No, she's been pretty consistent the entire game. Game. Strikeout after strikeout, just not letting up at all. Even if she'll streak together a couple of balls and really not letting up.
So we're getting ready here to start off this bottom of the 6th. 3-1, an opportunity for the Deacons batting. Schanzenbach shows bunt there at the end, and you could see that Packer defense closing in. The second she showed bunt, they were halfway to her, and that was an impressive response time there for West Fargo. Bohl lets it go. Schanzenbach able to get the bat on there for the bunt, but a nice grab made at first. A good throw as well that time. As the Packers are able to retire Schanzenbach, it was Michaela Johnson who made the throw, and then a very nice grab from Tori Nichols-Kraft, subbing over there on first. And Linster, as we're back at the top of the order, will chase that one, taking a big swing. Bohl able to get her to bite that time. Bohl lets this one go. It was hard, it was fast, but it was just outside that time for her, so it's 1-1 count now. Bohl lets another one go, finds its way in for a strike. And folks, we do want to take a minute to tell you, don't forget that you can connect with Shanley TV on social media. Get the latest updates about Shanley sports teams, plus reminders about upcoming broadcasts, like our Facebook page today at facebook.com/ShanleyTV. Follow us on Twitter at Shanley TV, and now you can follow us on Instagram once again at Shanley TV. West Fargo continues to hang on to this 2-run lead. The Deacons doing everything in their power to try and cut that deficit, but nothing is working here against the arm of Courtney Bohl. Bohl lets that one go, puts it a little low. Peters has to settle it down, and now we got a full count here. Bohl lets it go, and Linster will foul it back. Linster takes a step out that time to work on the swing. She's back in a high-pressure situation. The pitch from Bohl, and it's high, and so she'll walk Linster. That's about the worst possible batter you can walk at him, as she's a nightmare when she gets on base.
Oh, she is definitely dangerous with that speed, and the Deacons coaching staff is not afraid to use her either. They will have her definitely be getting some good leadoffs here and potentially looking for a stolen base.
Linster, you can see there, was getting ready to take off. Meanwhile, it's Maddie Remke batting. She had some great success earlier in the game. We'll see here if she can duplicate it. High pitch, and Linster going to have to dive back to first. Almost caught there. And West Fargo very keenly aware of her plans. Pitch goes just outside, and Adam, I talked about it earlier. I do think right now we're seeing this West Fargo defense and Courtney Bull maybe a little distracted by the presence of Linster on first.
No, especially with a runner like Linster, it's something you have to be aware of, and that can throw a pitcher off their groove, especially one like Bull, who's really been focused in on just strike after strike.
So 2-2 count now with 1 out. Again, Linster on first. Remke going to connect again. It's going to drop just in front of the right fielder. Linster around second. She'll have to get back on, but now runners on first and second for the Deacons with just 1 out, and they're in that dangerous part of the batting order.
No batting for the Deacons.
Yeah, as long as there's no double play turned here, you'll see Shanley's 2 best batters coming up here, hopefully doing a lot of damage with those 2 runners.
And so now West Fargo going to have a little conference at the mound, and that's unsurprising given the situation they're in right now. Just want to try and sell things down. Folks, today, of course, is May 8th, and we want to do a little segment we like to do called On This Day in Sports History. And on this day in 1907, Tommy Burns beat Jack O'Brien in 20 rounds for the heavyweight boxing title. Tommy Burns, of course, famous for being the first Canadian man to hold the heavyweight boxing title. He made 11 title defenses in total until being knocked out by Jack Johnson in 1908. A little bit of boxing trivia for you there. Meanwhile, we do have a pitching change, Adam. We talked about it earlier before this one started. We thought Tori Nichols-Kraft was going to be the starter for the Packers. That was the name announced. However, it was Courtney Bull who came in instead. Bull, of course, pitched pretty well, I'd say. Just, did a good enough job, and now it's Tori Nichols-Kraft who is going to be on the mound. What does this say, though, about West Fargo's depth, Adam, that they have the ability to pull Courtney Bull still after only surrendering 1 run here? I mean, you're just not going to find that, you won't see Shanley doing much of that. You won't see any team really in the state doing much of that at all because so few teams have that luxury.
It's a real play. It signifies a lot of confidence on West Fargo's part. When you have someone like Bull who's been doing outstanding the entire game, and then you put in another pitcher when it didn't look like she was struggling all that much, I mean, I think they're just giving her a break. It looks like they're ready to move on to another pitcher, and yeah, again, it's just a really confident play.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just stunned. But again, if they feel like Nichols-Kraft has the talent, then it's certainly not a bad move. If this were an MLB game, if you're looking at a situation where you have those relief pitchers to come in, then this is a situation where you do it, starting to slip a bit. You've got runners on first and second. It's the first time you've had anything like that all game. You could see the downward trend, but still, Courtney Bull is Courtney Bull at the end of the day, and so I think we're just a little surprised to see her off the mound. Like I said, though, it does make sense if you have the depth to make that move. So Nichols-Kraft in here now as we got a 1-0 count to start. And that one's going to be just outside for a ball. Make that 2-0. And Swanson will get a hold of this one. Going short to first. Runners will advance to second and third, but Swanson will be caught out at first base. Or thrown out, I should say. So 3-1 still our score, but runners now on second and third. Gabby Nelson batting with 2 outs. Nelson with a huge opportunity here. It is going to be a tough situation. 2 outs. And now Nelson will be intentionally walked. Look at that, Adam. I got to tell you the truth. I did not know that could happen. I did not know you could just say you're intentionally walking.
I mean, that's definitely a change up from what we're used to. But I guess a fairly smart play when you see historically they must know how good Gabby Nelson can be, and especially in a situation where you got runners on second and third. That's just not a situation anyone wants. So they're going to opt to load the bases instead.
I mean, I really get it, Adam. You know, it's if Schanzenbach is able to do some damage here, it's really no worse with Nelson on first. I mean, there's some scenarios where it could end up hurting you, but I think the odds of it helping you are a lot higher, as Schanzenbach just is not quite the same batter as Nelson is. Still a good batter in her own right, though. 0-2 count as this one goes low. Wisely will let it go by to make it 1-2. A lot of pressure on, though. Big change, you know, going from the junior Nelson to the sophomore Schanzenbach here. Here's the pitch, and that's another low one to make it 2-2. Again, bases loaded here in the bottom of the sixth. Crucial inning. KRAFT lets it go, and now we've got a full count with 2 outs and the bases loaded. The only way you could ramp up the pressure here is if we were in the bottom of the 7th and not the 6th. So, the pressure on. KRAFT, the windup. Did it sneak in? No, it did not. It's a walk, and Linster makes it home. And suddenly, Adam, this decision by the West Fargo coaching staff may be starting to wonder, you know, was it actually time to pull Courtney Bull there, as KRAFT is having a little trouble right now.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what the umpire's doing out there, just talking to everyone. Okay, yeah, it's an interesting series of events because you have, first of all, a pitching change, and then the decision to walk Gabby Dye, a different Gabby at our school, excuse me, Gabby Nelson, who in the end ends up being giving them the opportunity to walk or run home. So you just don't know which way it's going to go. They took a couple shots, and it ended up...
And look at this wild pitch. It's off the tip of the glove, and now a runner will make it home for Shanley to tie things up, and Nelson will make it to third. How about that?
Geez, just a crazy turn of events for Shanley, and all of a sudden the game is tied.
I mean, I did not see that coming. You know, a tie game headed into this inning, it wouldn't have stunned me. I mean, only down 2 runs, but... to have the bases low, I mean, you've got the runners on second and third with Nelson up. That's a scenario where I would understand, okay, Nelson hits a triple, that could tie things up. Easy to picture. But then the intentional walk, the accidental walk of Schanzenbach, then the wild pitch to allow Linster to get home. Just not how I expected this game to end up with this score. So Rober takes a swing at that one now. 2 outs and an 0-2 count.
Remember, it was an 0-2 count that ended up with that accidental walk, though, so we've seen a lot happen in this inning.
That is definitely something.
Rober's definitely not out of it. Sorry.
No, you're good, Adam. I was going to say that's a good point. That's something to take note of, and all the more impressive when you consider that was a sophomore, Schanzenbach, who wisely allowed that to happen. Finally, though, you do see Rober retired. A rough inning, though, for the Packers. They were making a power move, making the pitching change, going for the win there to try and ice this one out with a fresh pitcher. Did not pay off for them. Still tied, though, so they can certainly come back in this one, try and regain their lead here in the top of the 7th. Sun has really started to come out here. The wind is still pretty strong. Still a little chilly out there, but at least we got some sunshine now as the clouds have parted. We're getting ready for what is certainly set to be an entertaining 7th inning here. Ingrid Swanson has pitched well, only surrendering 3 runs here.
Leading off for the Packers, number 11, Manny Pearson.
So the pitch from Swanson to start off this 7th inning, just outside for a ball. It's Maddie Pearson, meanwhile, batting. Something to note, Pearson is the lone senior on this West Fargo varsity squad. One to one now the count. As that one will bounce and the swing will be checked. So 2-1 our count with no outs. Wind up from Swanson, and the hit right into the arms of Nelson, who makes the out at first.
Batting quarterback is number 3, Lauren Beaver.
And a strike there for Swanson, as it's now an 0-1 count with 1 out. And Adam, I'm pretty impressed by the pitching of Swanson so far at the start of this 7th inning. Well, meanwhile, this one has popped up, so hold the phone there as the grab is made by Schanzenbach. What a snag there for Callie Schanzenbach.
That's another excellent play from the Deacons. First, you have Gabby putting her body in front of it, and then Schanzenbach getting a glove on it, running behind her. I mean, some great defensive plays from the Deacons. They definitely feel like they are in this, and they are wanting to win real bad. Yeah,
and you could see him very fired up about that one, as KRAFT is the batter here for the Packers. And earlier in the game, a very similar play ended with the Schanzenbachs colliding and that ball being dropped. You can really see how this team, the Shanley team, has improved defensively. I think that's a great example. Similar plays, it ended in an error earlier in the game, and it ends up with a nice grab for an out at this stage. One count with 2 outs. High pitch here from Swanson. Both batter and pitcher will take a step back here. Now here's a pitch as KRAFT is going to ream this one into right field. Rounding first, opportunity for a triple. KRAFT makes it around second, headed to third. Not going to push it to home, but a huge triple there for the Packers with 2 outs and an opportunity to take the lead, to regain the lead, I should say. And Brooklyn Mervick is up to bat. She has had a pretty successful afternoon at the plate. And unsurprisingly here, Shanley's going to have a quick conference at the mound, try and sell things down with their defense. So I'll take a minute to remind you, folks, don't forget Shanley TV is made possible in part by the Shanley Athletic Club and their generous members. Check out their website today at ShanleyAthleticClub.com to learn how your membership contributes to Shanley TV, the Deacon Den, and many other student-athlete needs. While you're there, be sure to renew your annual membership by clicking the Join Now button, or become a member if you're not one already. It's easy to become a member, and anyone can join. So sign up today, the Shanley Athletic Club, taking Deacon athletics to a higher level. So all knotted up 3-3. A huge triple from Tori KRAFT has set the Packers up with a great opportunity to retake their lead here. The pitch from Swanson going to be low and into the dirt for a ball. That'll make it a 1-1 count here with 2 outs. And here's a huge hit for Mervick, headed towards the back fence, but the grab is made by Krista Schanzenbach, and so the big triple is negated, and the Deacons have an opportunity to take down the Packers here in the bottom of the 7th.
And you can tell they are excited about it. They're in that huddle. Everyone's screaming and cheering. They are definitely looking forward to this inning. Or the bottom of this inning, I should say. Sorry.
No, absolutely, Adam. I mean, this is just such a huge opportunity of them. You're taking on the Titans of the North Dakota softball world, and they're in great position. All they need is one run, but that is a lot easier said than done. Given the way this game has gone, just 3 runs for both teams. It will be a tall order here, as we could very well be looking at extra innings. Nichols KRAFT, meanwhile, is going to be looking to recover from a bit of a rough go of it in that last inning. She came in, of course, took over for Courtney Bull, and had her troubles. She still looked pretty good out there, but a couple walks, a couple just really tough positions for her. You know, she came in a tough spot, the toughest part of Shanley's batting order, and, you know, it's tough to perform well at that point, but we'll see what she's got here going up against Josephine Bowden. Bowden was struck out in her only other attempt here today. See if she can't change her luck. A low pitch to start things off here from Nichols KRAFT. Another low one here. Bowden just letting these bounce. Very content to take the 2 early balls here. Some directions being shouted there from the West Fargo bench, as Nichols KRAFT is taking her time to listen to the instructions here before she lets the 3rd pitch go. This one looking low as well, and that will be the call. So 3 balls here early. Great situation for the sophomore Bowden. I tell you what, if I'm her right now, I am not swinging at this one or the next one. And she won't have to, as this one bounces right in front, and she'll take her base.
Looks like we're going to have a pinch runner coming out for Josephine Bowden.
And that does appear to be the case. It will be Teresa Weigel running in her place.
Now it's great news for Shanley to have a runner on base here. This is exactly what you want. Seeing, I mean, they only need 1 run to clinch this game.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, you can concentrate all your efforts here on just getting Weigel home now. Weigel, of course, there in the place of Bowden. Meanwhile, for Nichols KRAFT, this is going to be tough, you know, no outs. You just walked a batter on 4 pitches. It wasn't an intentional walk, you know. You saw the intentional with Nelson earlier, but that one, she was certainly trying to retire Bowden and just could not get any of those to find the strike zone, as now she will find one with her first pitch here. Showing bunt that time. Foul ball called. It's Anna Seefelt at the plate right now for Shanley. And Seefelt with a big swing that time. Can't connect, though. And she will be struck out for out number 1.
Batting for the Deacons, number 3, Krista Schanzenbach.
So Krista Schanzenbach at the plate now for the Deacons. Low pitch, that'll be a ball. Nichols KRAFT really taking her time on these pitches. She's slowed things down a bit from her first batter she faced in this inning, and it seems to be working for her. She's able to find the strike zone on that pitch, make it 1-1. Deacons, meanwhile, just really would do anything here to get Weigel home. You know, they're 1-6 right now on the season, taking on the powerhouse Packers as Schanzenbach takes another strike there. But just what a win this could be for them if they can pull it off. I mean, on your home field as well, to be able to eke one out against the Packers would just be enormous for them. Schanzenbach took the bait, and that'll send her out. It's Elena Linster coming on now as the Deacons are back at the top of the order. It's a great spot to be in their order. The bad news, though, is that they've got 2 outs and a runner only on first. Linster swings at the first one here, and it'll be fouled right.
It's interesting that you see Linster take a swing at that one. You know, typically she's the like trying to drag a walk and then probably run through is her goal typically, and then swinging for that's just a different play. She's definitely coming out more aggressive. I'm just fumbling over my words right now. I'm not going to call it there.
No, I think we all hear what you're saying, though. It is a uncharacteristic behavior, especially with Nichols KRAFT giving a lot of balls away in this inning. And now she's put herself in an 0-2 hole here with 2 outs. Another swing, and she looked back, thought she might have gotten a piece of it. That's not the case, though, so we're headed to extra innings. And as the sun's come out, it's gotten a little warmer, wind's dying down a bit. Why not play a little extra softball this evening? As we have a break here in between the 7th and the 8th. Folks, we do want to say if you've enjoyed watching our ShanleyTV.com broadcast, please consider making a donation to help us continue to bring you quality programming. We rely on donations to bring you every broadcast, and we need your help to continue to improve the quality of our productions and to add new features for you, the viewer, to enjoy. If you're interested in donating, please contact Joel Shuey at 701-893-3225. Again, that's Joel Shuey at 701-893-3225. Thank you for watching, and thanks for your support of Shanley TV. So we're headed for the 8th inning, of course an extra inning here, as we're all knotted up 3-3. No winner could be decided in 7, so why not play an 8th? It was, of course, a series of errors for West Fargo in the bottom of the 6th that cost them a win in regulation. They were up 3-1, but an intentional walk of Gabby Nelson seemed like a good call at the time. Then an accidental walk got a runner home from third as the bases were loaded at that point. And then a wild pitch off the glove, just the top of the glove of Mariah Peters, allowed Elena Linster to make it just barely home. And that was a tough call for Linster to make from third, but it ended up being the right one as she did make it home just by a hair and was, of course, the tying run for Shanley. Now Michaela Johnson, the junior, is in the box for West Fargo. She takes a swing, and that one rockets past Swanson. Linster grabs it in center field. Was trying to maybe make the throw, but lost her grip on it and just is content to throw it in to hold Johnson at first. So Ashlyn Diemert is the batter here for West Fargo. She takes a swing. That one directly into the ground. Johnson looked like she was going to be thrown out at second. The grab could not be made that time, though, by Lucian. And so Johnson is safe at second. Diemert safe at first. And so it is runners on first and second with no outs here for the Packers. And the Deacons will have a quick conference on the mound, as this is not the start they were looking for here in the 8th. So just a quick meeting there with Swanson, trying to calm her down, salvage this inning. Meanwhile, Courtney Bowl is at the plate for the Packers. She's batted fairly well for him. Let's see if she can be the difference maker here in extra innings. It's going to be a bunt. We'll see if she makes it to first. I imagine it's more of a sacrifice play. And they will call her safe at first. Yeah, I thought the initial indication was out.
Now she laid down a really impressive bunt there, got it right where she wanted it, and Deacons just weren't able to make the play in time.
And so 3-3 our score. Bases loaded here at the top of the 8th. No outs for the Packers. Just a fantastic position to be in. Mariah Peters now batting for West Fargo. She's had an excellent evening for them so far. Again, no outs here. So they've got some room to be a little aggressive, chase some of these. Swanson put it low. Peters swings. The out is made at home plate, so the bases will remain loaded, but an out is picked up and no one will score. Huge play there for the Deacons.
That's exactly what you want to see. I mean, obviously you don't want to see the bases loaded, but just getting that out at home and preventing that one-run lead. So keeping the game tied is really important here for the Deacons.
Now we got a pinch runner at first. And Adam, it would just be huge for Shanley if they could come away with no damage done here. I mean, to have the bases loaded with no outs, if they could maybe get out of this one without giving up a run, just be huge for them. First pitch there from Swanson is low. Pitch number 2 is away, and that one's a little high. So now we're looking at 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. Those bases still loaded. Swanson lets this one go. Big contact made just over the glove of Weigel, and here we go. Runners moving all over the place for West Fargo. 2 of them will score. And that'll give the Packers a 5-3 lead over Shanley.
I mean, West Fargo's certainly showing up where it counts in this extra inning, and they are really laying on the heat.
And that was Kenley Mankey who made the hit, just a freshman coming up huge in the 8th inning here. Just a giant hit there for Mankey. What a performance there from the freshman. Swanson trying to recover. A nice strike there to start things off. So it's now a 2-run lead for West Fargo. They still only have 1 out. That was a pretty pitch there, Adam. Dropped it just the last second. Able to get strike number 2.
Exactly where you want that.
And Swanson will put that one just a hair low, but you could see the speed on it. A couple inches higher, and it would have been perfect. Contact made, and that will go just foul. It was fair to start. It's Maddie Peterson, again, the lone senior for this team at the plate. And Peterson makes huge contact. It's that same spot just over Weigel in right field. And now more runners going to score for the Packers. Are they going to push? No, Pearson will stay for the triple. But that is, I believe, 2 more. Yeah, 2 more for West Fargo. And 7-3 now the score. Not a ton of options here for the Deacons. Things are just starting to kind of fall apart on them. And again, they don't have a lot of choices here at pitcher. Swanson has pitched a fantastic game. She's clearly just run out of gas a little bit. Doesn't quite have the same zip on those balls. And we'll see what the coaching staff decides to do here. Really, your only other option is Schanzenbach, the shortstop. And I think they know that at this point, their best option here still is Swanson.
It's just a rough situation if you're Shanley. All of a sudden, you've given up 4 runs. You only got 1 out, and you got a runner on third. It's really tough to dig yourself out of that hole.
And contact being made all over the place, although this one's going to be caught out. A nice play made by the catcher that time. Maddie Remke makes a nice grab, as that one was popped up that time by Diemert. It's Nichols KRAFT, the pitcher at the plate now with 2 outs. She lets that one bounce. So it's a 1-0 count now, 2 outs, runner on third. 7-3, the lead now for West Fargo. High pitch will make that ball number 2. Deacons cannot really afford a walk in this situation. And a big swing from Nichols KRAFT, powering this one into left field. It will be caught out, though, by Schanzenbach, finally ending a tough inning for Shanley. Unfortunately, defensively, their worst inning of this evening comes at the worst possible time.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough for Shanley to pull back from this one. I mean, that 4 runs is, another third of what they've generated tonight, and then another third.
Right.
Trying to put that all on in one inning is going to be pretty difficult.
Yeah, very tall order here as both teams will warm up for the bottom of this 8th inning. And again, we want to remind you one more time that Shanley TV is made possible in part by the Shanley Athletic Club and their generous members. Check out their website today at shanleyathleticClub.com to learn how your membership contributes to Shanley TV, the Deacon Den, and many other student-athlete needs. While you're there, be sure to renew your annual membership by clicking the Join Now button or become a member if you're not one already. It's easy to become a member and anyone can join, so sign up today. The Shanley Athletic Club, taking Deacon Athletics to a higher level. So it's a 4-run lead for West Fargo, I should say. 7-3 our score, headed into the bottom of the 8th. It's a good part of the order here for Shanley as Maddie Remke is up to bat. She has arguably been the Deacons' best batter in this game. She's done a lot of damage for them. Right behind her, of course, is Swanson and Nelson. So, first pitch here from Nichols KRAFT is a nice strike just down the middle.
It's certainly the right part of Shanley's lineup to try to score some runs, but it's going to be, like we said, a tall order. 4 runs is a lot against a pitcher who's starting to heat up.
Absolutely. And she is starting to find her zone here, although she'll put that one high. And Remke makes some good contact. Gonna have to run this one down at first, and she'll make it just safe. So that's the start for the Deacons. Ingrid Swanson at the plate now. Nichols KRAFT lets that one go. Low for a ball. And that one's going high, just fouled off by Swanson. Nichols KRAFT sizing her up here and gets that one right down the gut for a strike. 1-2 count now. An opportunity to pick up an out. Puts it low. Catcher tries to make the play at first. Barely safe that time was Remke. Great call that time, though, by Mariah Peters. She continues to be lethal from that catcher's position. And again, she's going to try to make the play at first. Won't go. Remke is making it there just in time. Swanson connects, splits the gap in the defense. Remke will hold up at second, but now 2 runners on for Shanley.
Well, now Shanley certainly put themselves in the same situation that West Fargo was able to do so much damage from before. And, of course, Gabby Nelson up to bat again.
Number 21, Gabby Nelson.
Yeah, this is exactly what Shanley had to do. They knew they were in a good part of their order to be able to get both Swanson and Remke on and now have Nelson up. That's exactly what you needed to happen. So Nichols KRAFT in a tough position. It is a tough spot, and she knows it. She really hasn't quite found her groove here. But she's had some good pitches. Certainly shown the ability to retire some batters. Although a 2-0 hole, not what she wants to start. The pitch going to be low. And now 3-0. She might end up walking Nelson here. And, well, we all know how that went the last time. Not great. And there's the pitch. It's low, and Nelson will take her base. So bases loaded, no outs. This seems familiar. West Fargo, of course, had the same situation in the top of the 8th. They took advantage of it. Shanley will look to do the same. And, you know, when West Fargo went up 7-3 at them, I don't think a lot of people expected Shanley to be able to get back in this one so quick. I mean, obviously they haven't scored yet, but they're in a great position to do so. I think a lot of people thought, you know, a 4-run lead in a game like this, that's about as safe as it gets, but not anymore, as Shanley is in a great spot, and Nichols KRAFT just having a lot of trouble finding the strike zone now.
You know, if I'm West Fargo, I really got to be questioning that coaching decision to take out Bull. I mean, maybe they saw something we didn't from up here, but she looked solid. And now all of a sudden, we just see someone who's maybe not on her best game today.
No, I would have to agree with you there. And, you know, hindsight is 20/20. It's hard to predict this happening. But even at the time, you know, we were both questioning it, and I think it was valid to question that. Like you said, they might have saw something we didn't. Obviously, they know a lot more than we do. So, you know, like I said, it's a lot easier to make that call in hindsight, but definitely a call you got to wonder about. 1-2 count now. Schanzenbach takes a big swing, and that'll do it for her. So a big strikeout that time for Nichols KRAFT.
Now batting for the Deacons. She's a senior, number 6, Hope Rober.
Hope Rober now batting for Shanley. The senior fouls this one back. And that'll be strike number 1. Nichols KRAFT lets that one go just low to even up the count 1-1 with 1 out. Deacons continue to stick around. Rober, of course, the patient batter, as we've often described her. And there's a low pitch. It just found its way in, though. One-two count, 1 out. Bases still loaded. And a big swing there. Fouled back. Rober continues to hang in there. Crafty Sr. often finds a way to just hang around at the plate for a long time. It's a good quality to have in a batter as she lets that one go. And Nichols KRAFT on that one. Had the right spot. Rober took her swing and fouls it back, able to stay alive again. And Rober finally connects, but it's going to be caught out at center, and a grab made at second base to end it. What a turn of events, Adam. Out of nowhere, I thought we were going to be looking at least a few more minutes of softball here, and a tremendous double play is made to end this game. That's a tough way to end things for Shanley.
Well, that ball came quick off the bat of Hope Rober, and I think Swanson definitely thought it was going to be sailing. It was quickly snapped by the center fielder and brought into second base, caught her off guard. An easy double play for West Fargo, and all of a sudden, that's game over.
So Shanley falls to 1-7. West Fargo, meanwhile, improves to 12-3. Got to tip the cap, though, to the Deacons. They put up a very good fight against one of the top teams this year, as they always are, in the West Fargo Packers.
That was excellent, yeah, from the Shanley Deacons to stay in that game. That was great stuff.
Today, though, Packers do prevail, able to eke out a win here on the road. So we do want to say, folks, it is senior night, and they're going to have some senior night festivities on the field actually in just a few minutes at the conclusion of the game. So coming up here real quick, of course, one of those seniors, only 2 on the team, Ingrid Swanson and Hope Rober. Hope Rober, of course, has done a lot of work with Shanley TV, so we just want to encourage you to stick around and watch that as they honor her, and we want to give her, of course, a thank you for all her hard work at Shanley TV. Adam, of course, another senior, want to thank you as well. Folks, we got one more game left in this week. It is soccer. I believe that is soccer on Friday at 8 p.m. It's an 8 p.m. start. Usually it's at 7, but that is a 8 p.m. start Friday. That's our last game of the year. Be sure to tune in for that. We will have one more broadcast. That will be, of course, Shanley's graduation on May the 23rd, so be sure to tune in for that. Adam, you'll be starring in that, of course.
I will be there, Jim.
Along with a few other people, of course, in that graduation. So be sure to tune in to both those broadcasts. We're gonna sign off, but we are gonna leave the camera on the field and leave a mic up so you guys can watch senior night. But we will sign off here so you can enjoy that. So for tonight, for Adam Seiler and for our entire crew, I'm Jed Thomas. Your final score from Fargo: Shanley Deacons 3, West Fargo Packers 7. To watch the archived version of this entire game and our other broadcasts, go to ShanleyTV.com. The proceeding has been a presentation of Shanley TV.
Softball team has 2 seniors this year. Our first senior is the pitcher, Ingrid Swanson. Should be escorted by her parents, John and Cleo Swanson. Ingrid goes to Park Christian School. Will be graduating this spring with plans to go to the University of North Dakota. And our other senior this year is Hope Rover. Her parents are Jeff and Robin Rover. Hope is a senior at Shanley High School. We'd like to congratulate our seniors. We'd like to give them a big round of applause for all their hard work over the years and their leadership they provided for the younger girls. Good luck to you in all your endeavors. Thanks, Hope. Thank you, Ingrid.